a couple of pointers if you're doing your own toilet. This one's already in, but I thought maybe I would give you guys a couple ideas if you're going to change your toilet. But you're going to probably watch somebody else's video on how to actually do the job, but these are just a couple additional things to think about that may not be explained in the other video. Remember, when you're tightening this thing down, especially if you have when you have an uneven surface, which most surfaces are uneven, you want it more than snug, but not tight. So because remember, this is porcelain, and if you crank it down too tight, you'll crack the porcelain or you'll break the pipes underneath or pull the studs through. So those are things to remember. Number one, that's when you tighten down the toilet to the tile or whatever you have for flooring. It's also when you tighten the bolts that are holding this thing here in place. Because all the toilets are a little bit different. So like this one here has brackets underneath. It has brackets like this underneath. Hopefully you can see that. I can't get down there and look. But but those brackets will take a little bit more, but they are also tied into the porcelain. So you're still tightening porcelain, so be careful. You know, not tight, but not more than snug. Snug plus quite a bit more, but don't get them so tight that they're really, really tight. The other thing is, always check for leaks when you're done. One of the things you want is always have a braided line here. Don't use one of those plastic ones. Plastic ones are a no-no. This is a good brand of toilet. Do not buy one of those cheap, cheap ones. Save $20. I like Kohler, but you can get whatever you want. Some guys get Toto. That's just a lot of money. Go for it. I'm not going to spend that kind of money. But American Standard, I guess, is okay, but I don't really know. Kohler's always been the best for me. Then when you do fill it up with water, make sure that the float is not right at the top. Now, a lot of guys will tell you give it a whole inch. I like to have like 1/2 inch to 1/4 of an inch below the top. And then if you need to adjust it, you just twist this thing here to adjust the float height to make sure that it's not running all the time. Because they're usually set from the factory, but you always want to double check those things. So also, if your angle stops leaking, upgrade to the 1/4 turn. I was going to do that on this, I just don't have time, but get the 1/4 turn off. So what it has is, instead of having washers inside where they leak inside and stuff like that, it has O-rings. So O-rings are less prone to fail. Just a couple little extra things to throw in there if you're doing your own toilet, replacing it. And and also the other thing is, take the toilet out and drop it right in the, set it gently in the tub and move it around before you take it down if you're going outside with it, to make sure all the water's out of it so that you're not making a mess trying to get out of the house. A couple little pointers. Talk to you in the next video. All the stuff about wax ring and all that stuff, you can watch somebody else's video setting your wax ring. It's really not hard. You just set it on top of the wax ring, make sure it's not too, sometimes the flange is kind of low when you have this kind of tile or something like that. So you got to watch for that. If it has a low flange, then you want to put a double high wax ring in there too. Okay, all right, I'll talk to you, or you can actually stack 2 wax rings, one on top of the other. They work doing that. All right, a couple of pointers for your toilet installation.